In other news, this is coming in as explosive revelations from a tell-all memoir of the former Mumbai Commissioner Rakesh Maria. He's made these grave statements in the latest book that he's written, and specifically the ones concerning the chapter of the Sheena Bora murder case, which is closely being looked at. Rakesh Maria, who had just begun investigating this sensational murder case when he was suddenly removed as the Commissioner of Mumbai Police, promoted and then transferred, moved out of the case. Maria, in his book, which is titled Let Me Say It Now, has also questioned the motive behind his ouster. Let's get in those details, because this is once again raising speculation with respect to how the case was handled after his exit. What details that could have come in earlier were then delayed. We have with us our news editor, Tanvi, getting us those inputs here. Tanvi, very clearly in his book, he's tried to answer some questions that have remained long ever since that sudden exit of his came in him handling the case.
Yes, essentially, this entire book is Rakesh Maria really coming out and giving clarifications on the controversies that surrounded him while he was in the Mumbai police, and especially when he was the Mumbai top cop, the Mumbai police commissioner. So apart from, important other cases that he handled like 2611, he focuses a lot on Sheena Bora. Now, for our viewers, if they remember, during the Sheena Bora murder case and investigation that followed, there was a lot of controversy as to why Rakesh Maria was taking so much interest as a commissioner and not allowing the team to investigate itself. Did he have any ulterior motives? Was he actually helping Peter and Indrani Mukherjee? Did he know them otherwise? And there was a lot of speculation, and he's attempted to put those speculations at rest, but obviously in the process triggered out a lot more of controversy. So just to tell you the basic takeaways from those two chapters in this book related to the Sheena Bora murder case. First takeaway, he's claimed that he never met the Mukherjees before the case. To all the speculation that this is why he was helping them, that he knew Peter specifically or personally, Rakesh Maria says that he had actually never met them, and he says that I actually only went 4 times of those 14 days to the Khar police station to look at the investigation, to ask questions to Peter and Indrani, and that isn't really over-involvement. The media actually just portrayed it as if I was present there 24/7. If we move on and take you through the other takeaways that are essentially part of this book, and we've collated together, Rakesh Maria then actually claims that the former joint CP, Deven Bharti, he was also very, very closely linked with this investigation, never told Maria that he actually knew Peter Mukherjee. And this fact only emerged as part of the interrogation of Peter Mukherjee. And in all the time that Rakesh Maria and Deven Bharti were together investigating this case or tracking it, he never disclosed the fact that he actually knew them. He then says that obviously he's now broken the silence on his transfer, which happened 14 days after this case began, which was much before his date of getting transferred out. And so he's calling that a unceremonious exit. He then goes on to accuse the government of a lot of flip-flop during that time, that there was no clear line by the government as to why he had been transferred at that point, and the Home Secretary was daily changing his entire narrative and excuses. He's then asking a very, very important question: if there was a deliberate attempt to discredit the probe, with all the controversies, with the leaks to the media, with questions being raised at Rakesh Maria, with the kind of investigation that happened earlier, with the comments that were being made within the government, was there an attempt to discredit the probe? And then if there was an inquiry into the lapses by the police, what had really happened to that inquiry? That's a very important question that Rakesh Maria has raised. He's also denied media reports that he misled Devendra Fadnavis. So he's actually put out the text conversations with Devendra Fadnavis, the email that he wrote to the former chief minister, and said, I only spoke to him once about the case. I could not have misled him. So this is essentially, as a summary about what Rakesh Maria has written.
Yes, and Tanvi, there are 2 names here in this pertaining to this case, which is one, of course, the Chief Minister of the day, Devendra Fadnavis. We'll get into those details later. But you mentioned Deven Bharti, and to what extent the very fact that he was shocked to find out that Deven Bharti personally knew the 2 accused in this case, Indrani and Peter Mukherjee. What is he trying to imply here? Even if he was personally in the know of the 2, did that then compromise the case?
Right. So Deven Bharti was at that point in time the joint CP for law and order. 3 years before the arrest of Indrani Mukherjee for this murder, when Sheena Bora had gone missing, Deven Bharti was actually the additional CP and in charge of all the district police stations. Now, before I tell you the exact allegation, here is an excerpt from the book that is a conversation between Rakesh Maria and Peter Mukherjee. So Rakesh Maria says, your son comes and tells you that his fiancée, your stepdaughter or sister-in-law or daughter-in-law or whatever you call her, is missing. Now we have to keep in mind, he makes this comment because there was a lot of confusion initially whether Sheena was Indrani's sister or daughter. And you do nothing about it is the question that Rakesh Maria asked Peter, to which Peter replies, well, you can't say I didn't do anything. He says, no, sir, not that I did nothing. Then Rakesh Maria goes on to ask him, so what did you do? And here is the shocker. Here is what is the big revelation in the book. Rakesh Maria says, Peter Mukherjee said, sir, I had told Deven. Peter answered, looking at Deven Bharti, the joint CP of Law and Order, who was at that point of time present in the room when this questioning was going on. Maria goes on to then write that I thought he had not understood my question, and so I repeated, you did what? And Peter answered that he and Indrani had told Deven Bharti about Sheena's disappearance after Rahul had actually come and told them, and he was extremely, he had expressed his grievance. Now there was a deafening silence in the room. So if Deven Bharti knew about it 3 years ago, what was done? And interestingly, that's not a question that gets addressed or answered by Rakesh Maria in this book. Perhaps something that we need to find out from Deven Bharti or the Mumbai police. So that's the interesting part that he has raised about Deven Bharti. It leads to a lot of questions as to what was the involvement of this cop.
Yes, not just raising a question, but he's raised an allegation against someone who's now the ATS chief there. Tanvi, many thanks for getting us those details. Deven Bharti, of course, has been quick to respond to what's written in the memoirs. He's dismissed these allegations, saying that this is just a marketing strategy for the book. But let's also get you details with respect to the former chief minister's angle to this. Rakesh Maria there, he says he has suspected somebody of wrongly briefing the then Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis about the murder case on his behalf. Now remember, in these memoirs, Rakesh Maria says he had just one conversation in a very initial stage of investigations of this case with the Chief Minister. So who misled the Chief Minister? Let's get in further inputs. Our correspondent Santya is getting us those details. Santya, of course, we still haven't had Devendra Fadnavis respond to this. But what is it that Rakesh Maria is trying to question in this? Why does he feel someone misled Devendra Fadnavis? Does he indicate that that is the reason why he was shunted out then?
Here, as you rightly mentioned, if we have to understand why Rakesh Maria has written what he has written, we have to understand the way he was transferred from the position of Mumbai CP. Now, it was played up to be a promotion, which rank-wise it was, but it happened at a very crucial stage when the investigation in Sheena Bora Murder Case was going on, and it happened weeks before it was scheduled to happen. And of course, not in a usual way, because usually when someone of that stature gets retired or transferred, a proper farewell takes place. But we were there at that time in 2015 September, when he was transferred to Home Department of Maharashtra Police as the DG from the ADG rank level of CP Mumbai. We were there. It was not a usual transfer. There were no formal goodbyes or proper farewells which took place. So that's exactly why he is bringing out Devendra Fadnavis' angle here, Seher, because that was one of the allegations which was against him, that because of his closeness with the Mukherjees, he is not doing he's not doing justice to the investigation. Now, after 1 year, of course, at that time, the allegation of Rakesh Maria not briefing Devendra Fadnavis about Peter's involvement, that is that one specific part about which the whole controversy was, that how Peter Mukherjee's involvement in Sheena Bora murder case, because right now he's a co-accused who actually walked walked out of, who actually got a bail recently. So his role was there in Sheena Bora murder case. That was something which CBI mentioned. And according to Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, he was not briefed about that by Mumbai Police, as in by the CP of Mumbai Police, then CP of Mumbai Police, Rakesh Maria. 1 year after the transfer of Rakesh Maria, Devendra Fadnavis in a press brief said a couple of things. That first, it was not a transfer, it was actually a promotion. And it was to stop the controversies which were happening around related to Rakesh Maria. One was him being spotted with Lalit Modi in UK. Apart from that, involvement in socially knowing Peter Mukherjee and Indrani Mukherjee and Sheena Bora's in Sheena Bora murder case, Peter's involvement, and about which he was not briefed by Mumbai police. Then, of course, Devendra Fadnavis tried to play it safe. Also, he said that I also would like to give a benefit of doubt that how Rakesh Maria is a good investigation officer, and by that time, maybe he didn't have realized or get to know about Peter's involvement. But Fadnavis made one thing very clear, that he was not briefed about Peter's involvement in the murder. Seher.
Yes, Rakesh Maria has already explained that was at that given point still under investigation. Peter Mukherjee was still being investigated. His involvement in the murder wasn't still confirmed. Santhya, thank you for getting us those inputs.